Everyone, welcome back to IT Learn. This is Karthik, data-driven frameworks team. I would really want to talk about what are these automation frameworks? How did they come into creation? How would we go about building them from scratch very neatly? So, team, let's talk a little bit about automation frameworks at length and why. What is it that they're doing? And then we'll come to data-driven framework. All right. We're all in software test automation, correct? And primarily what we're using is Selenium. What does Selenium do? It just interacts with the web elements team. So Selenium is kind of your base ground, your um, touch points towards the application test on the browser. The entire testing is done on the browser. Now, when I say framework, right, as a name, what is it, team? Can anyone kind of visualize what a framework is? Framework is like a skeleton, team. All right. Imagine a building. So before the walls and interiors they come, what comes first? The structure, the steel pillars, beams, support. So what is it that it means? Basic um, basic structure. It keeps coming back to basic engineering. Basic structure is the same. You can customize over it. So think of framework always like a skeleton or what you see on a building when it is getting constructed, team. Now, frameworks are something as a concept you'll understand that they will do three things, team. The basic automation thumb rules that will also apply for frameworks. What are they, team? Can someone tell me what are those three thumb rules that I always keep talking about? What are the three thumb rules of automation? I keep mentioning it every time. Thank you. I'm getting a few. Perfect. Perfect. Not someone said ERP also, not ERP team. ERA, just a word that I coined.
Hi team, this is Ashna from IT Learn. Kartik just had some internet issue, so he will be rejoining back. He's actually doing it. So please give us 2 minutes and post which we would begin. No, he's not talking right now, Puru. Abdul, yes, you are right. There's no voice right now because there's some issue and Kartik is rejoining it. I hope you all got my message. Sarita, Sridevi, Abdul, Puru, Jasveer. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. So just give us 2 minutes or max three. We are there in the same session and Karthik is joining. All right. Thank you.
Hi team, can you hear me now? Sorry team. I lost power. And then I had to get to a hotspot and do this. Sorry about that, team. We'll continue. We were at the thumb rules of automation. So getting forward from there. So what is efficiency, team? Humans and resources needed to do a task. All right. Now, if we can do lesser humans, fewer, actually lesser humans also is not right English grammar, but fewer resources and achieve more faster. That's kind of what we're talking about efficiency. It must be efficient. Efficient than whom? Than a manual test engineer. That's what we're talking about. If we have to build an automation script or a framework, it must follow these. Then what's the next one, team? What's R? Reusability. Build it once, structured. See, I keep using that structure and discipline as a word very frequently. And this is critical, team, for all of us in automation. Build it once, structure discipline, keep reusing with minimal maintenance. Lot of effort, team. Oops, sorry. I think my screen is not shared, is it? Is my voice fine, team? And maybe now my screen as well. I was just writing it out here. All good, right? Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so I was talking efficiency and I wrote all those words that I was speaking about. Then reusability, because lot of effort and time is spent in creation, team. So if it takes time to create, we need to kind of someday enjoy the fruits, the ROI, and that becomes very critical, team. Return on investment, and this typically comes in 3 to 4 release cycles. So we cannot expect these automation frameworks will kick off instantly. They will slow down the manual testing process significantly, with a vision that when we are doing automation, we're going to be um, achieving some return on that investment. So it takes time, but the fact that it has to be reusable is very important. So team, what's the last one then in the thumb rules? Never forget these three ones. You'll always think automation correctly. So while you're efficient, faster, smarter, fewer resources, while you're able to get it reused so that we can use the same thing over and over again, nothing is relevant or critical if there's no accuracy. It must be absolutely accurate. There is no scope for deviations. You cannot let things just slip. The automation scripts or frameworks must be what? Right. So we'll write brilliant scripts, Java, CI, CD, build. We'll talk about what's that? DevOps, AWS, GitHub, Maven, Jenkins, all you want. But if you don't have the accuracy, it doesn't matter. So remember these three words, team. This three words should kind of resonate with you always. All right. So they become the fundamental ground for anything that we do automation. So frameworks must be loaded, okay, with ERA. So a concept of automation framework must really get loaded this way. Otherwise, it really cannot meet the direction of where we're going, team. 1 second. Okay, there you go. What is ERA? Cool. ERA is efficiency, reusability, accuracy. That's what I've been mentioning. All right. Now, data-driven framework. What is data-driven framework, team? Data. What data? Test data. Variations to check if ought survives. Like what, team? Survives. Now, how to build a data-driven automation framework? For this, surely, team, I need an Excel. I just opened up. Okay, it's coming up, team. Any questions so far, audience? We're gonna really get into the depth, nitty-gritties of building it. So, any questions before we get there? I just have only one question to myself, team. I'm still not sure which application I'm gonna take. Um, huh? What? How can you say that? Why will it be unlicensed product on my system? Maybe it requires something, but then I'll go straight to Google Drive. All right. So, team, very importantly, the first thing we need to do is check on the application under test. I want to go back to about a decade since when I was using this app, team. It helps us to easily understand mortgagecalculator.org. Oh, wow, that comes the first. That's cool. Nice. Still there. Please take any banking application if possible. Sure, Puru. Right. So we have these, and no, sorry, team. Some of you just joined. So kind of quick recap. We want to talk about data-driven framework. What are automation frameworks? They are kind of the ground level for us to move from manual testing to automation. So we're talking about how software test automation, Selenium, how it interacts with web elements, the touch points on AUT and the browsers. That's what it does. As a automation thumb rules, I said ERA, efficiency, reusability, accuracy. And now we're getting into building a data-driven framework. Let me explain about this application, team. It will kind of give us a lot of plenty of room to play with, not only with software test automation, a lot with Java programming, team. As part of this, right, it's going to take us about 3 to 4 sessions to complete a data-driven framework. You're going to learn extreme programming through this now. So, team, first and foremost, when we talk, okay, I'm going to put it in here. I'm there. Just quiet for a minute. Okay, there you go. Data-driven framework. So the first sheet here, I'm going to talk about my frame, okay, DDF, data-driven framework, automation plan. Always start with a plan, team. What is it that we want to do? The first question that we need to kind of ask here is, let me zoom this a little bit so it's easy for you all to see, is the AUT, which is the application under test. And right now we're saying it's mortgage calculator.org. What is the domain or industry that it belongs to? What is the test scenario / case that we're interested in? These three things are very critical, team, for all of us. And of course, you can talk about release cycles and so on. Now, to build a data-driven framework, we need to take steps, okay? And then we need status update on those steps. I'm trying to. Yep. All with me? Where's the highlight? Okay. All right. What's the first step in building a data-driven framework? get the application unit test. That is very important. When I'm saying get access to it, the second thing that we will do is understand the core/main test case. Unless we talk about what the test case is, there's nothing we can do there. Write down detailed, very detailed team, attention to detail, test steps for the identified test case. 4. Parameterize and all this is happening on the Excel sheet team. We've not yet gone back to Selenium, WebDriver, and so on. All right, everyone? Team, all good, right? I'm just going with the flow. I'm not looking at your messages. Parameterize the test case. What do you mean by parameterizing the test case, team? How do we identify what is the variable in it? Something will keep changing, right? So we need to identify those and parameterize. And parameters will kind of boundaries. We talk about boundaries, boundary value analysis, all that. So we want to parameterize, identify them. 5. Build test data to run over the test case. So a lot of theory I'm writing, team, right now. Then we will get into doing it, but this is critical, team. 6. Selenium, WebDriver, Eclipse, Java. We can do JUnit 2 or TestNG as well. I'm good. We have to take them because we are running. Now what do we do, team? What's the next step? What will come next, team? Anyone? Okay, sure. Maybe in a few minutes I'll talk about keyword-driven framework as well. Primarily, team, you got to build the structure of script, right? Write the code necessary to run against one set of hard coded data, team. That is the next eventual thing that we'll have to do, because what I'm talking about right now is write it in Selenium Eclipse. Right, what are the steps? Driver.find element, blah blah blah, dot click, dot set, dot type, whatever. So all the steps must run. Okay, now loop it for varied sets of data. 9. Place your test data in an Excel file. For now, this is what we're going to be doing, team. 10. Teach JS, Java Selenium, to read and write from an Excel file. And for this, we will use Apache, POI, and HSSF. I'll talk about all these things, team, as we keep going along. These are simple plugins, Java jar plugins, open source, open community, that you can take and start using it for our purpose. They help us to interact with the Microsoft Excel sheet, team. Similarly, you have things for Word and so on. It's a great place to start. Your data can be anywhere, team. It could be in an Excel, in a notepad, in a flat file, on an XML, on a web services, or in a very complex database. Okay, any complex database. Eventually, we need to know how to collect that data. And then report out for each set of test data. All right, team, this is what we're going to do. Now, let's go through, get the application and test. Are we all okay to use mortgage calculator, team? Very simple. Um, the purpose is kind of very simple again. You have this form here, right? So you put your home value, down payment, how much loan you planning to take, change a few things, interest rate. Let's change a few things. Is it 5 already in US? That's higher, right? I mean, and say calculate. And what would happen, team? You would get the mortgage repayment summary out here, right? For each of them, what we have to do and so on. 1 second, team. Sorry, I'm back, team. Now, let's understand, team. Let's understand and build a test case. Can you all help me building a test case now? The test case manually for this first. So we have the plan, basic plan, um, and we can keep going from there. Once we have the plan, right, team, once we have a clarity of what we want to do, it becomes very easy. You cannot never go wrong. So make your checklist, team. That's your plan. Can you hear me okay? Why does one or two members saying that they can't hear me? I hope that you all can hear me, team. Thank you. 1 second. Okay, cool. Yeah, you all can. Now let's write a test case. Team. How do we write a test case? I'm going to create a new sheet and I'm going to put my test case here. See, one sheet, test case. I'll not use space here. Actually, I'm using there, so I'll use space here too. Test case. What is this test case? Team? Test case ID. Um, test case description. Test step ID. Test step description. All right. Then comes a few more columns, team. As to the first one is your result. If that step passed or failed. All right. If it failed, you would want error details as to what happened. You may also want to capture a screenshot of the application at that time. These become general, team. So these four are like common, very simple, basic, fundamentally there things. Then comes your result, error, screenshot, which is more an after action of what happens once the test is executed. Then comes what? There are three things that you need to understand, which is very critical for automation testing. If you know these three things, then you're all set. Like in a Selenium IDE, we have a command, we have a target, and what we have info is the data. Same things. This is the keyword that we call, and it will kind of correlate along with keyword driven framework when we're getting there. This is same thing like command or what we say. What do I mean, team? What are these commands? Give me a few. Give me a few commands, please. Next is your element identifier. How to do location. How do you locate elements? Last is your test data. These three always remember wherever you go. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, anything starts with automation as a base. Without automation, there's never an artificial intelligence. All right. So your keyword as to what is it that we will do. Like what, team? Click, input, static, type, exactly. There's so many things, right? All these keywords, remember, go from two locations. One is your keyboard, the second is your mouse. And then you have a visual clarity as to what we're doing. Now, these are important things, team. This is how we'll be able to build a automation framework. Let me get it down to 150%. I'm losing the columns. Now, help me building this test case. Test case ID, let's give it a name. Application name is mortgage calculator. So I'll say MC underscore. I don't even know which release it will be. So let's say release 55, 54 underscore TC 001. Just we could further team. So focus a lot on the principle and discipline of being a IT guy by ensuring that you do the right naming conventions. Look at how I've colored the columns and grouped them. These three are together, these three are together, these four are together, right? We must ensure that everything you do as an IT guy has a lot of documentation to it, team. Okay, let's keep going. I keep talking about this test script description. What is it? What is it that we want to do? Let me get it out so I can do an Alt tab. Sorry. Okay. What are the steps, team? All of you think clearly. Your clarity at this point is more critical than your finesse in understanding the logic of the automation framework. What is the first step, or what is it that we want to do? I want to do a regular EMI calculation, very regular. Regular user flow. All right. Now, test step ID will be 1. What is the first step, team? Help me with it. Yep. Thank you. I know it's very basic, but very critical. So thank you for answering, team. Open browser. Now, to open a browser, what is it that I need to give? Result error screenshot will get filled later. Oops. Will get filled later. Actually, if I can, I'll try and do this. Cut. Paste. One second, team. I'll just sort it out. We have another 20 minutes. I think we can make progress. I don't think I'll be able to open up Eclipse yet for today, but tomorrow we'll do it for sure. Insert 3 left. Cool. And then maybe I already copied it. Sorry, team. Bad throat. Delete. Okay, cool. So now we have. So to open a browser, I don't care about keywords for now, team. Okay, forget about keywords. My test step ID is relevant enough. What is it? Element ID locator. I don't need it. Test data. Yes, I need the URL. So I'm going to copy this URL quickly and put it out here. All right. That's my first one. What's my second step? So I'm sure that this will continue for a while, right? The same test case. I'll randomly put it for about 14-15 steps. Oops. See. 1 minute, team. All right. Sorry, team. Back. Team, be very careful in how you answering, because some of you are saying log into application. Think clearly, please. Clarity is the most critical thing. If you are unable to think clearly, you can never do automation, team. What is the second thing? Now it's going to get very interesting. We have the application. So we opened here, we came here. What's the first thing we'll do? Enter home value. Correct? Enter home value. That's the first step there. I'm moving a little faster now, team. Test data. How much do we want to put? Let's put some test data, right? Where do I put my test data? That's interesting. Okay. Let me hard code it here. I'm going to say 323,000. Right? Cool. Then enter down payment. So team, from a functionality perspective, do you all understand what a mortgage calculator is? What it can do? Yes. So very simple in principle. Remember that you enter your home value, loan amount, down payment, interest rate, and it should be able to your tenure and tell you how much you got to pay monthly, team, when you take a loan based on these factors. And hence an amazing application to do data driven testing. Why a lot of data criticality? What is the functionality in this? There is an algorithm in the back end which takes whatever you put in the front end and gets you back the results and displays it here. Correct? That is what we're doing. So enter down payment, enter loan amount, interest rate. Let us stop here, team. Because why am I saying that? I could write another 20 steps, just saying loan term, start date. We have drop downs, we have a lot of things to play for Selenium and learning from that side as well. But it kind of fills everything by default, right? As soon as we load, we just have to change a few things, learn it, copy this test case, paste it again into the Excel sheet, and call it with a different name and check. All right. After I click on interest rate, what is the next thing, team? After I enter the interest rate, what will I do? Click on calculate. Then what will I do? I'll have to actually wait for the page to load. I'll hope that there is a implicit wait that we will set up for the app, maybe about 15-20 seconds. We'll do that in the Java code that we'll get to. But before that implicit wait, I may have to wait for, let's put in 5 seconds. Can we have a command in Java or Selenium that will make our script slow down? Yes, no, team? Possibility, yes? Of course. You need to know your application and time it accordingly. Wait always for 5 seconds. Why? Within, see, a lot of times what happens, team, and be very careful. The latest applications are not being developed in just PHP and or whatever tools. They all come into mean stack. A lot of Angular and Node JS is being used. With Angular applications, Angular 5.4.5 especially, it becomes a little tougher for us, like Selenium in regular, to identify the elements and work with them. And that's when we kind of slowly move towards protractor for those specific elements which are a little tougher with Selenium on Angular. So just letting you know, the future is going to be the direction. The concepts are all the same. What is the next thing, team? After you wait for 5 seconds, what is it that you want to do? Get the EMI value equal monthly installment. So the payment with PMI. PMI is what? What is PMI? Insurance, right? Mortgage insurance. Yeah. Not worried about PMI too much, team. So don't worry about this PMI. Doesn't matter. EMI, what I meant to say is equal monthly installments. What is it that I'll keep paying every month? So payment is here. Let us say I want to capture the first one. Humans, you can see, right? Eyes, everything there. But as a system, as Selenium, right? It needs to capture this information. How is it going to do that? It's going to go to inspect. Then we're going to put driver dot find element, identify this element through How do we identify team? Let's do that also. Let's put the identifiers right away in the script. And one more thing that I need to add now is my test data. As we keep going, right, you'll see, wow, this is so simple. Just keep the logic and the sense through it, team, because that's very critical. Now, whatever I have here in terms of the variables, I'm going to put it here as columns. With test data, team, do the first thing. Test data ID. Identify a set of test data. That, okay, this test data set has these values. Now, what are those ones? Home. Okay, home value. Down payment. What's next? Loan amount. Interest rate. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding. Okay, so we have these. Now let's put no green code. TD001. I'll say my home value for the first one is 320,000. 300, okay, whatever, right? So down payment, let's say I want to take 200,000 out of it. Loan amount. Oh, down payment will be the remaining. Interest rate 4.74, right? Now that's one set of test data. What is it that we're doing, team? Data driven framework. We need to take a scenario and run that scenario against changing set of test data, team. All clear, right? The logic, no one is having confusion. Otherwise, I can start out with, where are we? Here. Okay, cool. So team, always remember three variables in your entire automation. You have your application under test, correct? You have your Selenium and Java as an automation of code. So Selenium and Java are interacting with your application. They're passing the commands, what to do and so on. And then you have your database. Whatever be it, could be Excel, could be anything. That's your data. I mean, if I need to test on something, I need to test against or with something, right? I don't have any proven ground. Now, whenever we're testing, the foremost thing that we will doubt is what? What are we trying to focus on, team? Can you visualize? Always we're trying to do and see if application and test is working right or no. We're all trying to do bugs and defect finding, correct? So we're trying to fault application and test. The first suspect that you must have before suspecting that the application is at fault, it will come number third, is your test data. If I don't have the right inputs, I can write the best script out here and it's still not going to do what I want it to. Make sure your test data is correct. Second comes doubt your framework, doubt your script, doubt there, question it and see if it is correct or not. When you know your data is right, my script is right, and if things still go wrong, then log a defect. Retest it once, recreate it, and log a defect on the application. All right, team? Sorry, team, I went on mute. All right, let's go back now. I'm going to quickly erase these drawings. So always remember, team, three things: your application, your data, your scripts, your Selenium. All right, comes third, second, first, culprits. How we go about looking at them. Now, we're gonna copy the same test data and keep changing it. We want to see little variations, maybe 3-4 sets. Let's keep it. It will not take too long here. So I'm gonna change the data. See, are each date sets of data unique? Yes, no, team. Now they're unique, right? That's it. I didn't have to change much. Just imagine the permutations and combinations of data. I changed one column, but we can keep going. What all can we change? And that is where the beauty of data-driven framework will come to. It is going to be super duper fast. It's going to do something that we can't even, within the blink of the eye, it's going to run your test scenario against hundreds of sets of data. Just imagine, I can also do parallel test execution. So maybe 20 threads I could open in Java Python and say parallelly execute them. The speed is the most critical aspect of a data driven framework team. It is all gonna be about speed for it. All right. And now, Karthik, if application wrong, how are we going to test? Yeah, it will fail, right? If application is wrong, how are we going to test? Didn't understand. That's what we'll be doing. Like the application not working as expected, like the right values. Sure. And that's where your scripts need to know how to recover during. One second, team. I'm closing the chat. During a test execution slash failure. A lot of times you'll see that, oops, it'll stop. It'll give you runtime error, or it may not execute the way. So you need to handle a lot of try catch. You need to do, team. All right, error handling. Like I said, right, 3-4 sessions, 3-4 more sessions, because we're going to learn a lot on Eclipse Java now. Let's go back. Test case. What did I want to do? Elements, right? So now let's focus on element IDs, team, at least for these. And you're going to help me out with it. I'm going to write XPaths for each of them. Tell me, help me with the XPaths. Home value, right? How do I do the XPath identification for this? Right click, inspect, got it, copy, outer HTML, and team, a lot of experience, and that's why I'm doing all these baby steps, because very easy to miss one step and throw everything back. So be very careful, team, every step. Now, what's my XPath? Team, give it to me, everyone. Write an XPath for what you see on this, and then I'll take the next one also in the meanwhile. Sorry, I switched the screen. Inspect, right click, copy, outer HTML. I'm not copying XPath, team. Okay, that's too easy. I mean, why will you rely? First, we learn. That's how we can have a command. What is XPath for the first one, team? I want you to write the right XPath and don't make errors in it. I'm extremely careful from a case sensitivity perspective. So please ensure that you write the XPath correct. Give me, everyone. Okay, nice. Nope. Why do you make mistakes? I don't understand, team. Why do you all make mistakes? You know it and you make mistake? Is that what you're doing? How can you make such mistake? What is this? Come on, guys. Seriously. Now tell me what is wrong in this. For example, what is wrong in this? Can anyone see defects? Are you even test engineers? No, no, no. You cannot say sorry, guys. That is what I've been warning. How can you make mistakes? If you guys make mistakes, who is going to test? And be very careful. I'm asking questions, team. It's really bogus for you guys to learn automation frameworks and testing and so on when you can't write things clearly. How will you give double quote and single quote? Guys, Java is not that easy on you. It's relentless. Either give double quote or give single quote. Why will you give both? One this side, one that side. How can you make those mistakes? Are you clear, team? I'll not emphasize again. There's nothing called a typo error. Do not back yourself up. Everyone clear? Now look, what is wrong with this one? I've been so clear. You know, and you make mistakes is what hurts us. Unknowingly people make, that is fine. You're so well aware and you still make mistakes. What is wrong with this one now? Guys, if you don't know element identification, there's no point in learning data-driven framework. What is wrong with this one? No codes exactly. How do we know that our XPath is right or wrong, team? How do we know? Open your Selenium IDE. Trying to open it. Where is it? It's here, right? Okay. What do I do next? Put it in your target. All right. And then say, what? Why is it? Why are both blocked? Because format itself is incorrect, is it? Open. How do I verify, team, in Selenium IDE? Why is it disabled? Am I doing anything wrong here on ID? Because I want to go and verify. No, value. These are not mandatory fields right now. Command and target command is, but blah blah blah. Okay, let me cheat it. And team, keep focusing a lot on how to identify elements. I'm gonna do 353,000 down payment. Let us say I'll put 50,000. Loan amount is automatically calculated. Sorry, 4.66. Some I'm doing everything and calculate. So it's doing that. And then finally, I'm gonna verify text. This. Sorry, team. I'm gonna take another 2-3 minutes before I close. Is command open? Yeah, everything is correct there. I don't know why these were disabled. So I'll just stop this now. I'm okay with the hello, stop recording. Thank you. Okay, all this of now let's say I take a 9th step and say type something and say / input, right? HTML. So this is how we write XPath. Everyone correct? 2 forward slashes, HTML tag, open square brackets @ element ID, and then what was it in our case? ID equals single quote should be fine or double quote. Check either sometimes. Now it is doing something. I'll come back to you. Okay. Uh, Find targeting page. Element not found. Did I write something wrong? Is it not correct? I mean, anyone else trying at your end parallelly? ID equal down payment must work. Come on. Then how did this work? This is a bug thing in Selenium IDE team, and I don't like it. How can Selenium people launch like that? So buggy. It will recognize everything. It knows all this, but let's run. Okay. Oh yeah, it has to open, right? It's the first step. It's doing. Are you observing, team? It's going slow, but it's performing. Of course, step 8 was incorrect because we put it. So these element identifiers are fine, team. This is fine. So I want you all to focus in terms of what are the XPath that we need to create. Now, this is the next one, right? So make sure, team, that it is there right always. Because a lot of times that's the only problem. Everything else is very straightforward once we have a framework created. Now, let's put all of these. Team, 2 more minutes, and I'll try and see if I can get a chance to open up Eclipse and start. As a process, start entering those element IDs out here. All right. Now, what is it that we want to do, team? Let's go back, look at a plan. Understand the code, main test case. Yes, we did. Write down detailed test steps for the oops, um, for the identified test case. Yes, done. Parameterize the test case. Oh wow. Yeah, I think we've almost done with that. I'll just say in process, in progress. Build test data to in progress. We wrote a little bit. Selenium WebDriver, Eclipse, Java unit. Okay, let's go. Now, this is what we're going to do next. I'm going to take and launch Eclipse. Wow. What happened to my machine? It's not launching Eclipse. Why will JDK not be there? I run scripts every day. Something's wrong, team. So anyways, questions also we are a little extended on the time as well. Any questions, please? We can continue tomorrow. So we have a simple plan. We've identified an application. We wrote a few test case steps for it. One test case, a few steps. Test data is still loading. We're trying to understand and recognize the application elements and putting them together. Now, what do I need to do, team? Very simple. It's all there in the plan. I need to write the script, right? At least for one set of test data, it must run. And then put them as variables, declare them as Java variables, nicely parameterize them, keep them, then loop them, put them in a for loop. And we know from the first row to the last row, repeat this. What is changing? One factor. But then what we will do, we will not do only from the Java thing where hard-coded data is there. Your data will be external, not hard-coded in an Excel file or anything. That's when we teach the script how to learn, read, write the Excel data using Apache POI and HSSF. Any questions, team, before I wind up for today? Okay, Dhiren, you tried today. No, okay, I used Google. And team, I have not seen the recent IDs. Maybe you can help me because I never rely on ID is, I just go off to Eclipse and WebDriver. How do I export this scripts? Where is the feature now? It doesn't exist, is it? Convert it to Selenium WebDriver script or Python or TestNG. It used to be there. Now I don't know what happened, so I'll explore on that as well. I'm just looking at questions, team. If you have questions, please put it on chat. If you would like to speak, raise your hand. We'll continue from tomorrow. Would please tell where does Maven and Jenkins come in picture during this process? Cool. Sure. I'll kind of briefly update it, not like a more. Yes, Maven Jenkins. All right. So you would have heard, team, a lot of you. CI. What is CI? Continuous integration, right? CD. What is CD? Continuous delivery, right? Now all this development community is talking a lot of CI/CD for what? For the build process. All right. Now what happens typically, team, is builds are getting more regularized, your releases. So there may be nightly builds or weekly builds or hourly builds where your code is being pushed for production. Now each time before your code is pushed, you want to time it. Time, schedule, organize tasks and events slash automation scripts to run. I'm trying to explain what is Jenkins team. Now, when we're trying scripts to run, to do this, we require Jenkins is an amazing tool for that. Now, what is Maven? Helps us basically compile the latest libraries before build run. So it kind of goes and hunts for jars and libraries, DLLs. Oopsie, sorry. DLLs and just before running. So it always goes and gets it. It could be a Selenium jar, it could be a JUnit jar, it could be Apache jar, anything. You just mention the version number and say that in my artifact in Maven, you put it and say pom.xml that okay, get this 4.3.2 version. So it will always keep checking to see if it's got the latest ones. So that's what Jenkins does and Maven does, team, in very simple terms. I've seen your past session, August 2016, you went through menu to identify element. Sure, they didn't, but now challenge is now Selenium IDE UI changed, latest versions. I'm sure they've got a lot of things. I just have one question. How do I export my script from here? Executing. How do I export it, team? They played around nicely, but I don't know where it is. We don't need it, but it's nice to show how we transition from Selenium IDE to WebDriver. So team, we have not yet gone to Eclipse and WebDriver. We're going there now. File. That's open project. Where is file? Yes, we have class tomorrow. Any final questions, team? I don't see file. All right, everyone. Thank you so much then. I'll see you back tomorrow, all of you. we'll continue with the data-driven framework. Save it on the top right corner. Top right corner is just 3 buttons. This is ones, right? Explore team, try it at your end, and I'll slowly start giving you access to the Google Drive so you can start looking at the files as well. Team is trying to assist me. That's a save project. Yeah, I still don't know, but thank you all for trying as well along with me. Keep continuing to try. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Thanks now. Let me close this. Thank you all. Thank you, team.